Man, how about the finish to this? Well, I mean, it's not over yet. Here's what's fantastic. We've had a bunch of greatness already, and this is just Sunday night. We still got Chapel Bill tomorrow night, but how about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish looking like they were out of it, Brent? I thought for a second, man, they were about to go away. That middle, you talk about the middle eight of a football game, like all the time. Miami scores on third down with 12 seconds left, with maybe the catch of the year by Daniels. That was absolutely stupid. That was insane. That was the definition of a no, yes, yes, yes. And it might be one of the catch of the years by C.J. Daniels, but the interesting thing to me is the DB not playing the ball. Like, he was playing for the interception, man. You got to go. It's almost like a Hail Mary. You got to go knock it down. But that was the big play before the half. But Carson Beck comes to South Beach. That's the story to me. Like, comes to Miami and finds a way to get it done. A really good first half. And I think the most impressive part to me, Brent, is we talked about Carson Beck. We both think he's going to have a really good football year this year with Miami. The off-script plays in the first half, like him moving a little bit off his spot, making the long throw on 3rd down and 10 for the touchdown, him scrambling a little bit, moving to his right while he's getting hit. But Carson Beck and the Miami physicality up front with the 3 backs rotating in and out, get the big upset. And another top 10 team goes down. I know that's not like a big deal, but that is the 4th top 10 team this weekend.
Was Coach Corso now officially correct on every one of his picks, I think, now? Because I think he also took Miami as well.
That's ridiculous.
It's very
We should have laid the house on that. If you were a fan, you should have laid the house on that the way his weekend went.
But you talked about the middle 8. It's much like the Notre Dame-Georgia game. Notre Dame gets the turnover, 1-play touchdown, and then the kick return to open the second half. That sequence is probably borderline the most demoralizing thing in football, especially the way Miami did it in the beginning of the second half, where it was just 6 yards here, 4 yards here, 3 yards here, just leaning on Notre Dame and being more physical than Notre Dame. And if you want to look at Notre Dame in terms of one potential sort of weakness, like, they don't have 315, 320, 330 on the defensive tackle area. Like, their edges are like, they're big and athletic on the edge, but not necessarily on the interior. And Miami just went downhill at them almost the majority of the game. And it wasn't like it was massive plays, but it was 6, 5, consistent, kept the ball. And yeah, that was a great win for Miami, especially, by the way, when you trust the kicker and the kicker makes it.
I can't believe how conservative they got down the stretch. Like, Johnny Conservative it's been a thing for Cristobal for a while, being very conservative. You let your kicker he was like 3 for 11 a year ago, something like that. Like, and he goes 47 yards and it was a boom. But the Miami run game, the physicality of the offensive line, the shotgun run game, you know how I am with that, man. Like, the zone read stuff with Beck, and he's not really a guy that's going to pull it. But let's not get too far down the line and not talk about Malachi Toney, number 10. Holy cow. Like, that was fun. Miami brought in all new offensive playmakers, like receivers. They lost them all, like their top 6 guys. And if you didn't watch Malachi Toney, number 10, that dude was absolutely fun. Like, he's tiny. He was returning punts, but just after the catch, before the catch, bending back to the ball on that first touchdown, doing such a good job. But, like, I think they found a guy that, you want to play man coverage? Okay, we'll absolutely massacre you with man coverage. And then I think the backs too, man. Lyle, Fletcher, Brown. Like, when you can rotate 3 backs like that and stay fresh and run downhill and break tackles, such a big advantage, like such a huge advantage. And Beck versus, when he sees zone, man, that ball's out. He's got such a great feel for zone coverage. And then if you add a guy that can consistently beat zone coverage like that, I thought Toney was a big time deal in this game. The freshman that they talked about before the pregame meeting. Like, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but like, he's a dude. And Carson Beck was like, no. He's a superstar. Like, that kind of good. So, obviously, a heck of a start for the weapons out wide for Miami. C.J. Daniels deserves some love, too, for that catch.
That catch was unbelievable. But when you talk about Tony, he's the perfect receiver to put with Carson Beck. Because what is Carson Beck's greatest strength? It's the ball being out almost instantaneously and knowing where to go with it, and especially being very accurate in that 10 to 15 yard range. And a guy like that's going to win borderline instantaneously, that's a perfect match. Because if you look at the deep balls, yes, the great catch, and then the other touchdown, those were just he's just trying to make a play, and then the receivers go and make a play. He puts the ball in an area where, hey, somebody can make a play. But the other part with the pressure and him making sort of the off-script things, one of the things with Beck all these years is, the whole QB trainer guys and you see videos about the cones and how they work the footwork.
You love that. You love those guys. You're a big fan of all that.
Well, but he's the prototypical, hey, I want to bring this guy out and show the 10 other guys here how to do it. He's great at that. Phenomenal at that. It's when it's true freelance that I think he struggles. But the two tonight was perfect footwork. I can slide and I can and then I can now see and keep my eyes downfield.
Yeah.
And the receivers just made phenomenal plays.
The only thing I didn't like about Miami
was the difference.
Was the late game conservative. I would have liked to see them be a little bit more aggressive. But the other side, man, let's flip it to CJ Carr. His first start, when I looked at this Notre Dame offense, first of all, training wheels fully on. Like, to start the game, he wasn't throwing the ball. The first quarter, he didn't throw the ball over 3 yards. Like, it was dink and dunk central, get him settled in. Once he got settled in, we talked about him not being Riley Leonard. He is not by any stretch of the imagination, but he has enough. He has enough wiggle and enough speed to incorporate some of the QB run game. The touchdown pass down in the red was unbelievable. I mean, spin. It was like, dude, stop doing that. And then it was like, oh, that was a great play. But I think CJ Carr, he proved once they started to trust him that he can be a good QB. And again, it's just like Arch. It's just like all these other things, Brent. They're going to get better. They don't stay stagnant. Like, they're going to continue to grow throughout the season. I also saw some weapons that I don't think Notre Dame had a year ago. Like Big Zero, like Malachi Fields, looks like a big target that you can throw it to. Faison looked super quick with the rock. Like, early in the game, they were getting to him, and it was like, I mean, he was – you could play touch football on the elevator with that sucker and lose. Like, he was super quick. So I think they'll grow. Jeremiah Love was kind of MIA, man. Like, I think he had 9 carries for like 20-something yards going into the fourth quarter.
Let's get to that because we got Mr. Ethan Johnson here shouting out with the super chat, by the way. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Loving it because we're going to talk about subscribers and all the great things there. Guess whoever was calling plays was allergic to Jeremiah Love running the ball. It was like, was he hurt? Did he have like a little bit of a hammy, or we're just gonna ease him into it? Because there was a noticeable not there kind of thing.
Hey, Jadarian Price came in and toted mail for a little while. Like, he came in and gave them a little bit of spark on the ground. But I love Jeremiah Love. I've made that very clear of where I think he is. He's got to stop hurdling though. Goodness gracious, like. Too many hurdles, but I love the screen game, to him late when they did kick the field goal. But no, he's got to get his touches. And they talked about it coming into this year. Like, it wasn't going to be a 50-50 split. Like, it was going to be more 80-20, 70-30. And he is one of the most dynamic players in the country. You got to give him his touches. He will make things happen. But it's really important to point out, Miami's defensive line owned the line of scrimmage. Like, they were really good. And I kept writing down names. I was like, Scott, Bain, Blay, Mesidor. Like, 4, 3, 11. Like, you kept going. And they're getting off the rock. They're disruptive. Like, that's one of the better D-lines I saw all weekend, man. And especially when you get, later when you get in third down situations and Mesidor and Bain coming off the edge, good freaking luck. Like, those guys – peer their heels, like they play with their hair on fire. But I thought up front it was pretty big advantage Miami defensive line for the majority of the first part of the game.
I don't know. I haven't looked in terms of size comparison. He looks maybe just a little bit shorter, but Bain reminds me of Jared Verse. Just very thick and just constant pushing tackles back into the lap of the quarterback, but he was all over the place. I mean, he had the interception where he's just hustling for the ball. That was a David Pollack 47 high motor guy play if there ever was one. Where the foot kind of kicked the ball up in the air.
Hey, no one wanted to tackle that sucker. I can promise you that either. Like once he started running, I was like, that is a thick tree trunk that you about to get. You don't want that. Hey, that's a bug meet windshield. You don't want that in your life, brother.
He looked like a kid who was a tailback in like 5th, 6th, and 7th, 8th grade, and then grew out of being a tailback. But yes, that was a super, super athlete. Notre Dame's offense, though, in the running game. Let me ask you this, because this was, to me, sort of watching them, is they kind of ran their offense very similar in a way to a year ago. But now you don't have a lot of the read type game that you had with Riley Leonard as a threat. And it looked a little more predictable. And I think they're going to have to evolve from a running game perspective to be able to get those running backs in space.
Yeah, they will. And I think Denbrock's a really good OC. I think he will do that. I think when it's not as big of a disadvantage up front, because that's the problem. The problem was with the drop back passing game, the play action was a disadvantage. And CJ Carr, he showed some ability to rush or to move his wheels, but he also made some bad decisions with some scrambles and bought too much time. And I think that he's going to learn his answers a little bit better as it goes on. But I do think the weapons are there, man. The weapons are there to grow this off. Here's one thing I'll point out before everybody buries Notre Dame. Brent, last year their offense sucked to start the season. It was very much a work in progress. And then you saw game 4, game 5 after the Northern Illinois game. Like you're like, okay, they know exactly who they are, and they started playing big boy football, and they started using Riley Leonard. And I still think, man, Riley Leonard made that offensive line a lot better because of his ability to pull it and hold people on the backside and hold ends out wide. So I think there will be an adjustment period, but I definitely see enough weapons on that side of the ball for Notre Dame to be just fine. But that showdown with A&M is going to be enormous because they ain't got a lot left on the schedule after that, especially Boise getting punched in the mouth week 1. Yeah. Ow, no teeth. I mean, got knocked out. So that's the schedule definitely doesn't leave a lot. USC, maybe they do well, and that's a team, down the stretch. But obviously the next game Arkansas, for Notre Dame will be critical.
At Arkansas for Notre Dame as well. So 2 SEC contests there. But Miami, by the way, speaking of schedules, it doesn't – I mean – obviously next week, Bethune-Cookman, that'll be a nice scrimmage for them. But South Florida at home, and then the Gators come to town the week after that before they go to Florida State. So their schedule is interesting in this first part.
It got a lot.
This win was
it got a lot tougher. It got a lot tougher when you watched Florida State. Like the ACC got tougher watching Florida State do that. Man, that's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot more fun. A lot of those games that we kind of chalked up to being like dubs, and you don't know because we didn't know what Florida State was going to be, but that was big. But we didn't know what South Carolina was going to be. And LaNorris Sellers, man, is he fun to watch. And they were they clean and perfect by any stretch of the imagination? Hell no. I mean, there was a lot of things to look at and go, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But that Mack truck, that SUV, that tank, whatever you want to call him, he's got the dead leg, but he's got the ability to run through you. Like he's just got enough to him, man, in the run game that he's just so hard to stop because I didn't see a physical ground game for South Carolina, but I did see a guy that makes plays outside of structure and that makes the game easy for every single person around him.
Well, and you look at their team, and by the way, the fact that they get a special teams touchdown
on Beamer
Ball, Beamer as the coach playing Virginia Tech was just, sort of the chef kiss type deal. But in terms of identity, they don't have enough weapons to not have a true identity. It's LaNorris as a runner. Let's split some of the carries. Let's use sort of other guys to lighten his load. And once a quarter, we need to throw the ball deep and see if Nick Harbor just outruns somebody. And he finally did, and they finally hit him on the 64, 65-yard bomb that was just
the dude can fly. I mean, the dude can absolutely skedaddle. Like he is. You watch 8 and you're like, okay, I see why they want to throw it to him. I'm not going to go off tonight. I'm going to save it for probably tomorrow night on our nice channel here. But like to go off on what a catch is in college football. Holy mother freaking crap! Like I'm not going to swear. That's not what we're going to do here. We're not going to curse, but we're going to discuss what the funk is a catch for God's
We're going to come really close though.
I mean, goodness gracious. But the first drive for South Carolina was surgical. And remember. Yes. Shula's a new OC this year, and I was like, man, great job slipping the guy out, using LaNorris cells. He only ran the ball one time on the drive, and I was like, that's how it needs to be. You need to beat Virginia Tech without him getting beat up, without him getting 10 to 15 carries and taking lumps. But Attaway and Faison and the offensive line, like that group has to get better. Like they have to make it easier. They don't need him to put on the cape every game. Like they have to do a better job of, Addison and Faison, Attaway and Faison made one drive look really good. It was second and like 20 something, and Faison went long, and Attaway was breaking tackles. Like last year, Rocket Sanders was underappreciated because of his ability to break tackles, move the sticks. You need one other guy with him. And then Harbor continues to come on, but the play calling, to protect your boy Sellers. Like you got to protect him against himself.
I wrote down, let's not go empty anymore. Because I wouldn't go empty much if I were them, and trust. Like I'd be a play action, only do that kind of stuff if the ball is out very quickly, or if you have to and you're behind in the game kind of thing.
And the play action bomb was to Harbor. That was a play action. That was a nice play action off of it. Yeah, the counters.
As a 5-man group, struggle bus.
Yes, and I'm not knocking LaNorris Sellers, but I am saying I saw a bunch of misses again today. I saw a bunch of sails. I saw some throws that he's not going to be the guy that's going to, and I think you're saying this, he's not going to be the guy that drops back and is picking you apart consistently. Also, who's going to win? Because even Harbor wins and sometimes he doesn't catch it, and you want him to catch the football, but I'm with you. It's all got to be designed around his feet, but not him running all the time. Like right. I'm using him as a decoy to basically block the defensive end. It's a power read. You're inverting it. You're using it both directions. You're running the split zone bluff, right? Like you're throwing the ball out. Like I think that
they did that in the first drive.
Do what?
They did that in the first drive. That's
twice, and he threw it like 2 yards, and they got 20, 30 yards. Like that's exactly right. Like use his Superman cape. But if I'm a USC fan too, I'm also really excited about my defense, because the defense is the big question mark. All the guys drafted, all the guys gone. I'm not saying Virginia Tech is the biggest challenge, but I thought that obviously Dylan Stewart is Dylan Stewart. Like you watch that guy come off the edge, and you're like,
he dinged up, and then he got dinged up, and then he comes back shortly thereafter and says, "I'm going to just take over this game."
I got this. Moments. Like, y'all go sit down. I thought, completely new linebackers. They were running sideline to sideline. They looked fast. The secondary maybe a little bit too handsy, gave up too many of the big plays, but I thought the defense was huge. Special teams was huge with the 80-yard return by Swain. Like that's what good teams do. They find a way to win. But Virginia Tech, man, I thought they were game. I thought they were ready. I thought they did a really good job. And Kyron Drones is a big freaking dude, man. Like, I would love to see a little bit more toughness from him, because he's a big, he's almost LaNorris' size. Now, he's not the speed of him, but if he can get, now listen, they didn't catch all the balls they needed to catch too, and they had some penalties that bit them.
A lot of drops.
Yes, a lot of drops and some penalties.
Few great plays, few phenomenal catches, but
he also made some critical mistakes near the goal line. That was a big one, man. You can't, and you know what he did on that play, Brent, that they didn't talk about? I really wanted to hear him talk about. When a QB takes off and scrambles, when he tucks that football or when he goes straight downhill, I'm coming to meet you. Like, I'm a defensive guy. I'm going to come meet you. He drifts. And it's like, I don't want to run, and I'm not attacking the line of scrimmage. And if you don't attack the line of scrimmage, I can kind of stay back. It's kind of like holding the ball at the basketball like this at the three-point line. And I know you're not going to shoot it. But once you do this, I'm going to come up and guard it. But, drones in that O They had some moments where they looked good.
It's funny that you bring up basketball because I wrote down a note. I'm trying to think of basketball comp for Drones because he's like a guy that has a great looking 3-point shot. It just looks pretty, rotation's great, but it's always hitting front rim or it's always in and out. It's just missing slightly all the time, but it looks really good. And that's with him for me is where it's like physical, big, ball comes out, tight spiral, looks the part, but it's just off a little bit every time.
It's never good when you say something about somebody and you're like, but, like whenever you say that, it's very frustrating. But Virginia Tech very much stayed in the game. Drones had some good throws. The mistakes were pretty critical. Green made some catches. Their defense played their butts off, man. Flew around, pressured, stopped the run, did a good job of limiting LaNorris Sellers. Chapel Bill tomorrow night. I'm excited to watch. You watch Matt Patricia have a bunch of success as an NFL guy that was with Bill and won Super Bowls that confused Arch Manning. And now you go Chapel Bill, who has a bigger cranium full of defensive knowledge than anybody I've ever seen. And so, I just like him defending college quarterbacks. This is why I told you I thought that this would work. I'm so interested to see how bad he can mess with people's heads and what that defense looks like tomorrow night.
And especially, by the way, in the matchup that it is, because Josh Hoover is not – we talked about him earlier in the Big 12 previews. He's one of the more sort of underrated QBs in terms of statistical profiles and all the big-time throws that he's made. Like, you're going to need to do that because he's actually pretty daggone good and a good opening test for them tomorrow night. But, hey, I think I heard him multiple times say it's sold out. Like, so the environment is going to be there. That's going to be a good environment to watch. I think that will be fun to see. Yeah,
and I'd love to see a great environment at North Carolina football. That would be really, really good to see some excitement. Over under real quick. This is so petty and so stupid, but over under on how many times we see his girlfriend tomorrow night. This is to me going to be like the new Taylor Swift thing. It's going to be like, how many times do we see Chapel Bill's 24-year-old girlfriend?
Will she be visible? Like, will she be legitimately on the sideline right there by him?
I could see her on the sidelines.
Like, have a headset too?
That would be so awesome. Honey, time for your pill. Oh, that's crazy.
That's who knows? Actually, I don't know that. It feels like that's one of the things that you might not see, like that they would not show. But who knows? I don't know. It's gonna be fascinating to see.
Yeah, and North Carolina, I tell you what, I like UNC, but they're going to need some weapons. I'm interested to see who's catching the football and making plays out wide. But, hey, big week, man. Big week for us here, and we wanted to absolutely say thank you to everybody because, tip of the cap. We hit 20,000 subscribers this week, which was a goal. That was a goal we wanted to reach. So just excited. Thank you so much, guys, for finding us, for liking, for subscribing. All the good things you do, and then we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll discuss some more football, and we'll get in our routine, man. We're going to be basically Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to be here a lot for you guys and talking ball because Brent loves it. He's got that cheesy smile on his face because he loves it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's really fun.
Hey, there we go. I like it. To whom it may concern, that is a fellow frequent listener. 50K coming soon. Spread the word. Appreciate
that. And then Michigan OU next week. We'll get into that. You can promise.
Oh yeah.
LSU fan Jeremy Ledbetter from LSU. You should be happy, bro. You should be jacked because of what your squad did. And we'll give you those reactions too tomorrow. We'll talk about the big takeaways, maybe the playoff pick that we could redo. I think that's a fun one, Brent. Like, could we change a few things? Like just 1 week. It's just a small sample size, but
yes.
But are there some things that you automatically go, seen it, done it, I want a mulligan. I want to take that back.
Hey, that sounds like fun because Jeremy Ledbetter's team might be the one that I would pick because I didn't have him in.
I think I might jump on that train with you. So,
and by the way, in Miami tonight with what they showed defensively, and it wasn't a sieve. It wasn't a complete just something that a team's going to run through them and they're going to not be able to stop anybody. But that was one, and they're going to get tested here soon. But that them playing well defensively, that changes that aspect for them, for me.
Yeah.
So that
I missed a bunch of picks, so I'm not going to brag, but I got that one right at least. I thought
you did.
I was on Miami this year.
When it got tied, I was like, ooh, might get me a winning field goal here first.
Yes, you definitely. I think when it gets, I still think that late game situation, that's a real thing that we'll continue to monitor. But again, thank y'all for coming and for joining us. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, please. Leave those awesome comments. Talk about how shiny Brent's head is in the comments below. And then we'll holler at you guys tomorrow. Thanks, dudes.